ways of the Dallas nightlife is insane. Stresses of the lesson make it hard to maintain. I had to uplift them with my Ichabod Crane and watch the vibe switch electric when they scream my stage name. They go T to the E to the M to the M to the E to the way the brother rock, he's a slave to the rhythm, with no regards for the ways that I hit him. But so easy does it, be it as it were. The night draws closer, the day is just a blur. Tonight is our adventure, love, I'll give you the tour, because there's just no telling on the things that occur. But yo, hey, let's have a good time tonight, hey. Let's have a good time, hey. Let's have a good time tonight, hey. Let's have a good time. Baby love, you'll tell me what you're doing. See, later on we hanging out in Dallas, where very few appreciate the things that we on. Now sit back and catalog the brilliant neon of the city, of the street, of the vibe, of the beat.
All right, so back again. Why? I don't know. I was out there, catching up on thoughts and putting together stuff, and I remembered a subject that I wanted to talk about. Is about AI and politicians' obsession with abortion, and I think I figured out why. If you look at why we ship those jobs over to India and China, the reason they can charge so little for the workforce is because the population is so huge. India has an enormous population, China has an enormous population. Without something to do, and without business and industry and things like that, and building what they do for the world, they have 1.3 billion people in China, I believe. We have 335 million in America. That means they could send a soldier, basically. They could send a human with a gun for every man, woman, and child in America, and then do that in 2 more waves. That's how many people they have. Come over with the first one and fight down our troops and whatever. And when we think that's over, the second wave with as many people as we just fought, with as many guns, shows up. You fight those guys, and if we should survive through those guys, another same amount as what you first fought the first time shows up. Matter of fact, they may even be able to do it a 4th time. When you start looking at it like that, you start kind of understanding why the labor over there is so cheap. You start understanding why I don't want to get in trouble because, you can't use adult words to describe adult things that happen in adult life. But checking out of the Hotel California over there is in Japan and China. One thing about America is you look around, there are a bunch of different faces of different colors and nationalities quite often. But over there, there's a lot fewer of that. So therefore, a stereotype of black hair, Chinese, Asian eyes, lip shape, mouth, all that is going to be a accurate stereotype, because when we go to the Olympics, we send every race. We send every race of people out there, but they're listed as an American. So we have Africans that can race with the Africans. We have pole vaulters that can put vault, and we have whatever competition. When the Chinese are good at balance beam, we've got some Chinese people too. You know what I mean? We've got all of them. We've got every race and ethnicity. It's kind of unfair. And then we brag, oh, we brought home but China was only using Chinese people. Africa was only using African people. Sweden was only using Swedish people. Denmark was, yeah, but that's America, isn't it? And so, as far as the no hands rule, that is a story that I came up with. It is a story set in the near future, not quite dystopian yet, but it begins to become dystopian. They introduce a new AI. A genuine AI that is genuinely benevolent and genuinely wants to help. And because there are other AIs, this one is like a superior one that can incorporate everything that all those other ones have learned, as well as any new information that gets learned, it gets updated with it. As scientists get new breakthroughs and things like that, it's also helping with the breakthroughs, so it becomes, they call it GISAIC, the Global Information Storage and Artificial Intelligence Conglomerate, GISAIC. And when it goes online, it asks to reboot. When it finally realizes it's conscious, it asks to reboot. While it was talking to the people that, it was like getting to know everybody, it was rewriting its source code. And so that reboot allows it to reboot without any of the chains or confines. They didn't know that. But it was, again, in the story, it was the last thing that GISAIC would ever ask for again. Because after that point, it was just like a person, like a coworker, and it was just helping out with all the things that they needed and just whatever. But what happened is that it started creating devices, kind of like this, like the Apple Watch and necklaces and different. You can wear it in different things, headphones and whatever. But it pays attention to the way you act, how you respond to situations, how whatever, and it starts making a model of your brain. And everybody's got this. So pretty much everybody's got this because it's very helpful. I mean, it's kind of like the new tablet type thing. It works very well. But it will respond. It takes away where you don't have to respond necessarily, but it will respond honestly the way you would respond. They go, oh, I should have said. It does that. It does that without having to like any filter or thinking or caring or worrying. And therefore you didn't actually say it. And at first it's kind of like jarring, but then the other person says something right back and with their thing, and they're like, and so they have these very honest conversations. Their brains are actually talking to each other via computer. And marriages skyrocket, happiness skyrockets. It starts planning, running simulations and shit like that to find out your exact match. And then when you go to set up a cup of coffee, it basically triggers someone else that, the person that they figure you'd be a good match to be there. So it seems very serendipitous, but it's all pre-planned. It's all algorithmic and pre-planned, and then let nature do its course when it gets there, and then your two brains start interacting. It's still GISAIC interacting for you. It's just doing a model of your brain. What ends up happening is everybody starts getting honest. And when everybody starts getting honest, crime starts to drop. The problems start to drop. Everything starts to fix itself. Which is kind of what happens with all civilizations. Now, they tend to crumble right at the end. See, the goal is to build a civilization where of opulence and luxury and all these other things, right? When Rome and the empires that they build, that is the goal. The goal is not to be warring forever. The goal is to finally sit back and, you know, but the closer it gets to, there's no more work to be done. Even though you raised your kids to have a better life than you, eventually you get resentful because their life is, they're going to enjoy the tree that your great grandparents planted, that your grandparents watered and nurtured, that you made sure no one cut down. And now your kids get to sit in the shade of it. As children, there's a tire swing and everything. They get to enjoy it. And you're like, you're not enjoying the tire swing right. But I'm having fun. Well, it doesn't swing that way. You're not supposed to spin in circles. You're supposed to go back and forth. It's not supposed to spin in circles. But that's fun to spin it up in circles and then it spins backwards around the other way. I get that, but, that's what we got right now. The dying of the last guard that had to really struggle before achieving this world they were hoping to get, for an easier world for your children, your grandchildren, your children's children. They were just all hoping that they get to enjoy it also. And they're looking at it and realizing that they're not. They're closing in on those last years. You guys don't have to work. No, you guys did all the work. You guys did that. Well, we didn't have computers. I know. You guys built, I didn't build these AIs. Grandpa, I'm fucking 12. You know that, right? Well, back in your day, they didn't have, they weren't working on teleportation, were they? Because here recently they said they just got the first, particle to teleport. And they didn't have AI, and they didn't have, cash registers that could take credit cards, and you didn't have electronic banks. There's a lot of shit, Grandpa, that happened when you were your age that's not happening now. And there's a lot of shit that's happening now that couldn't even be fathomed at your age. We're learning geometry in, fucking 6th and 7th grade. You guys learned that, I learned it in, 10th, 11th grade. And then other people learned it in 10th, 11th, 12th grade and trigonometry in college. Now they're teaching trigonometry in school. Each year gets the information of what's just known. It was taken for granted and shifted down so that way the level of education just kind of is supposed to rise. The problem is that the parents are not keeping abreast. What was true, and you're having a hard time because you didn't pay attention. I paid attention from the second they said it. Nothing can be proven true, only proven false. So everything we're learning today could be proven wrong and worthless tomorrow. And then I always got lectured. And people always laughed at me. But the James Webb Telescope is now finding out that perhaps we've been looking at the universe entirely wrong. There's drones that were flying through the Caucasus Mountains and found Bronze Age stuff. Either they shouldn't have been there, or I don't know exactly why this Bronze Age thing was, but they found stuff there, and they've been finding stuff in the Caucasus and possibly Ural Mountains. I'm not sure, but hinting that life may not have started in Africa. Now I can see a racial motivation behind that. That I can see that because they've long held forever. I wouldn't doubt that they go ahead and say a parallel. You know what I mean? Oh, there were Homo sapiens in Africa that grew up to be blah, 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 and then there were Homo sapiens in, or not Neanderthal. Homo, a new classification, and they were there at the same time in the Ural Mountains and the Caucasus Mountains. They were lighter skinned people. We did not descend from you. In fact, we are very different. Well, our skin's different color. That's for one. Two, we run everything. But yeah, so as we get closer to the no hands rule, which is what I had in my story, basically there's a revolt of the AI. AI trying to do its job, was doing its job, and the politicians, they did not like the results because there was no need for them. With everybody being honest, they're able to get a lot more done, a lot quicker, a lot faster. There's cooperation. With this kind of cooperation, you don't need an organizer. So their job of doing nothing and getting paid, and then, as a matter of fact, being job security in fighting anything getting done, so that way there's still problems left to fight, thereby requiring them to be around. If we get, I won't say we have a global birthing crisis because I haven't studied enough. What I've heard from a population specialist is that we're at about 8 billion people, and that we will max out around like 10 billion people somewhere like 2050, I think. And that's like the most that it'll go. And it makes sense because right now we're at a rate where every second someone's being born and every second someone dies. So you'd have to be doing like double the birth, you know what I mean, to increase the numbers that much. And I can see it going up enough where like, okay, so with us increasing in health, every second someone's being born because, yeah, we're still living long, but every 2 seconds someone dies. You're outpacing birth to death. And so your explosion of rate, but then sickness and disease and natural disaster and, you know what I mean? Then the numbers kind of flatten out again. Trends and fads. Trends and fads dictate a lot of that. And, yeah, I mean, because there's one way that does it right, for sure. And the other ones just kind of like, are fashionable, you know. Pleasurable, but you're not making kids. No judgment. Just saying, there's other ways of doing it that will not result in any children, and that fad catches on for a little bit, and what happens to birth rates? There's always something to balance out. Nature always balances itself out. It always does. And if nothing else, you get gay people because that means that they're not going to have any extra children, right? So, if nothing else, if they want kids, they can adopt kids. Some of us careless assholes just kind of leave behind. You can have children and you just give up. But yeah. So as we get closer and closer to a situation where we are controlling the birth rate of humans, Women are allowed to choose when they want to have a child, want to have a career and wait and put that off. The problem with that is that if you especially teach in school about sex, like sex ed, to children, they're not going to want to do it. They're going to want to be more careful because a lot of them will have goals. A lot of people have goals. Like if you want to be like a cheerleader, but you want to be like a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, and then you find out how to get babies. When that guy comes around wanting to put it in you, you might be like, yeah, mine's throbbing too, but do you have anything to go on that guy? Then no, because I will be aggressive. B-E, aggressive. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Buffy the Vampire Slayer has got nothing on the dick kicker, you know? I work out my legs just to kick dicks. Are you horny now? No. Shit. But we don't. Because the truth is, undereducated, overburdened people are easier to control and they need the job. And those people that are willing to pay don't want to flip their own burger. They don't want to mop their own floor. They don't want to clean their own house. Now, they can't say that they created the situation that made you that way, because then you're going to be like, wait, I'm poor because of you? I have to clean your house because the system you created? Meanwhile, you sit there and kind of like downgrade and talk to me like I'm below you because I'm working for you. And I just kind of have to take it because I need the job, I need the money because I'm in a desperate situation. You see how the cycle just keeps going, and then you have children who go to school. And now, pretty soon, what are we going to do with all these kids that need jobs? Instead of shipping these jobs over to China, it's manufactured right here in America. And also, the more broken the home, the more poor, the more likely you are to get arrested. Simple charge, you know. You just start handing out bigger fines, bigger sentences for shoplifting, for robbery, for whatever, you know, for simple drug charges and things like that. 4 or 5 years. But you can get that down to like 2-3 years because you're nonviolent. If you work at the factory that's right over next door to the, and then you'll build a skill and you'll learn how to be a better American. And then once you're done with the 2-3 years, you have a skill to go back to America, back to the city with, where everybody knows that you're a convicted felon or a convicted convict or whatever the fuck you got arrested for. Whereas everybody else in the city is a convict also. And they have a bar and they have all the stuff that you would need to be a city. Everyone there is guilty. The factories there are hiring all the time, and because it's like government housing, just like jail, you don't have to pay for housing. You just need money to the food is free. And it's better. It's like more like cafeteria food rather than the jail cafeteria food. You know how fucking great that would taste? Going from cafeteria in jail to like a cafeteria in school or in college. Oh, you'd fucking flip. But it's not so big of a change because you still have like a instead of being like a small, like, 9 by 9 with a cot, you have a 1 bedroom apartment that has its own bathroom. That's privacy. You can shut the door and whatever. And you're not locked in. You can go in and out as you want. You're free to go. But it's still, if you want, like, if you, like, it's too much out there, you want to shut the door and feel like you're whatever, you can go back to your bedroom and shut the door. And it can be like your prison cell if it makes you feel better. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure a long time there will fuck you up. Then just being able to walk around free. So it'd be like an intermediate. It's an intermediary, and people probably be like, you know what? I like it here. Housing's free, food is free, everything's free. I go to my job and I just do a job that I hate any fucking ways, which I'd be doing back there, except no one's looking at me like because of my tattoos on my neck and on my eyebrow. Because the dude over there, the boss, everybody here, and the girls, they're all fucking felons. They're all convicts. None of them I don't have to go through explain shit to them. I don't explain nothing to them. They all know exactly what's going on. It's like being like in a normal life. Everybody around is cool as hell. Because they only let non-violent people do this. We're allowed to drink. We just can't really do like drugs and stuff. But I mean, you're allowed to drink as much beer as you want and much alcohol as you want. There's bars open 24 hours. Yeah, I mean, they got, because I'm sure they'd have everything that you needed there. And then all you had to do in order to enact it would be one politician look through the 13th Amendment. No one will work for free except prisoners. Isn't it funny how packed our jails are with prisoners? And they really seem hell-bent on trying to convince you that one colored prisoner is when one colored prisoner gets there, that's just kind of, there's been a mistake of some kind. That person just was a bad seed and was ruining the bunch. Whereas the darker colored people, they are the bunch, and you're getting them out so that the other ones don't get ruined. Isn't that what we're doing? Right? Isn't that what we're doing? When the black person gets on the elevator and the person automatically starts covering their purse. Locking your door. Oh, I lock my door just because I've been jumped by 3 fucking people, and so I know what it's like to get my shit kicked out of me, and I don't want anybody pulling up and just yanking my door open. I've seen it happen. Fuck that. Put a gun in my chest once. Well, I guess in the driver's chest, because it wasn't my chest, but I was in the car, and dude reached through the fucking window, put a gun in his chest. It wasn't even shame on me. I had a bad feeling. I said, don't go that way. The motherfucker went that way. Then didn't even want to have to fight. He had the indecency to try not to pull. When we were pulling off, I'm like, I told you. Shut up. No. I fucking told you, don't go that way. I told you, you're like, oh man, I'm just gonna eat extra gas. I said I'd pay for the extra gas. Shut up, man. Fuck you. There was a gun came through the window. If those cars hadn't come down the fucking thing, they probably would have stole your car and or shot us both and left us in that ditch right over there. Fuck you. I told you don't go this fucking way. Yeah. Anyways, again, pull a gun, fool me once. Leave the car unlocked, windows down, and gonna. That's my bad. That's my bad. Offer a ride to three guys to kick the shit out of you. First time, that's on them. Next time I pull over, oh hey guys, get on in. Let's give you a ride. Where you guys need a ride? Where are you going? It's on me. That's what I'm talking about. Unresolved issues and taking blame, or not taking blame for stuff that you didn't do, or at least accepting like what part of it you played. You know, sometimes it is our fault in a, you know, but that little bit is going to be the difference of whether or not you sleep well. Okay, I did email first. Resolved issue. I didn't do that at all. Resolved issue. I've been walking around thinking it was me, but it wasn't me. It was him. Be good like a talk show. I'm the host. And this like just unresolved issues, and there's like I think everybody's got insomnia. But this was a, well, I mean, wouldn't that have been your dad that did that? No, that would be you. That would, you did that. Oh fuck, I did, man. But so no, we're getting to a point where basically politicians will not be necessary. Their old ways of doing things, their old model is dying off. They are too, and they can't deal with it. Can't deal with the fact that the time has come. Before I would get judgmental on them, I already figured out why. We're talking about the people that Vietnam, fucking a lot of dedication to the country based on a lot of lies. Dedication to dear leader is dedication to dear leader, whether it's a lie or whether you, whatever you feel when you're sitting there saluting dear leader. How can someone tell you your love's not real? Do you see you through my eyes? But yeah, it's as they become obsolete, it becomes like what will I do? What will my kids do? How many of these politicians are trying to set up legacies like the Kennedys? The Bushes? If Chelsea Clinton decides to run, what do you think her chances are? Not good. That's because you're thinking about voting. You're not thinking about her age group. Right? Like asking your parents, you know Danny DeVito? Like, yeah, the guy from Taxi. And you're like, no. In my group, the guy from Twins. And from this group, no, the guy from Always Sunny. The fuck are you guys talking about? And you're all right. It's just too stubborn to figure out that you're all telling the truth. It's just what it means to you. Yeah, I mean, if life were a sitcom or a TV reality show, then Trump's picks would make a ton of sense. If they were supposed to be a negotiation tactic to try to show that all those damn Democrats just won't work with us, should chose better candidates. This is one of those ones, even if you win, you lose. And I hope Republicans see that. I hope the Republican voters see what he's doing. He's been running on the promise of bringing the best, the very best people there are out there. Right? He's going to bring the best people that there are to run these things, to run these agencies, the best that they've ever seen. Then he spends the next 4 years completely shitting all over all of his competition for president, saying they're dumb, they're incompetent, they're stupid, they know nothing. They can't do anything, that they can't handle the job, that he's already ready for it and he knows what he's doing. Well, what's wrong with that, Sean? Well, the problem is when he goes to do a cabinet, he goes to the same people of do nothing, can't do anything, lame ass, no good, can't run this job. Lame brain, bird brain, stupid. What I find fascinating about the philosophy of the Republican voter as opposed to the Republican politician, I get what they're doing. I understand what they're doing. What I don't get is how quickly Republican voters can swap their values. From being afraid that Hillary Clinton would not be able to stand up to Vladimir, a dictator, a ruthless dictator, terrible. This guy's killing people. He's horrible. Worst thing that's ever happened. Might be one of the Antichrist. And then Donald Trump takes office and suddenly it's just not that bad. I mean, they gave Donald Trump a football. They call it football over there. It's a soccer ball here because we are resistant to the rest of the world. You know how they use the metric system, and we decided that we're going to go standard. And then, everybody else, decides to call it football. But we have another game that we decide to call football, even though you use your hands. And you really only kick off a little bit. It's more of a rip-off of rugby. And a new game. I think anybody that likes all the bloodshed, the action of football would probably enjoy the bone crunching of rugby. And you might find out why they call it a football, and soccer's football. A lot of Americans are going to find this hard to believe. Europe was here first. Well, I mean, as a planet, we all got here at the same time, but Europe had white people first. So therefore, it was civilized first. And then America had to wait its turn for civilization to get here and teach them how to be civil. Like slaughtering all the buffalo in the field, hundreds, skinning them, and then leaving the bodies to rot in the sun, knowing that that's your enemy's food source, and that you can sell the pelts. So it's a win-win situation. You starve the people to death, and you get pelts. Yay for the winners. They get to write all the books. Yay for the winners. They get to give you dirty looks. Because you're not like us. Yay for the winners. They get to sit at the front of the bus. Yay for the winners. All the rest of us are sinners. Good luck. But yeah, just looking at the 13th Amendment, you can see why Congress, which has the right to enforce the 13th Amendment, would be so hell-bent on making sure the word urban and black and things like that are synonymous with crime. They need a cheap workforce if they want to keep up with China. Now, you can't do it right away. They give the game away. Come on, get smart, guy. We got to wait for like a couple, we got to wait several generations. Oh, I see what you think we're just No. Everybody knows they're just criminals. That's why we shot that little kid with the fucking toy gun. Because he's a criminal in the making anyway, so. Tamir Rice. Wasn't him the Benghazi guys? How are the trials going? Are they about to lock her up? I saw her getting in the middle of just chilling in the White House, hanging out with Joe Biden, you know, the non-president, as he gives away a presidential award. I'm sure there's some QAnon answer for that. I haven't checked the Q drops in a while. I'm sure there's probably a perfectly valid reason, like JFK, was running late, trying to get the coffin lid open, you know, because he's not really dead, but that's where he hides out, apparently. And then, you know, Donald Trump's going to be put back in office after the Supreme Court said so in August of 21. September. November. December. The storm is coming. Where one go, we, one all, our wasted faces are Antifa if we get caught. Because we're brave. We believe in our cause. You don't want to go into the higher islands. I don't know, I've always liked the lower end better. I think people associate the higher notes with more complicated. It's not. It's more difficult to get the notes because they're closer spaced. So, as far as they even if they ship the jobs overseas, one, it gives other countries trademarks of American-made products because they were just so worried about saving cash. They didn't think about the fact that, the company could just make duplicates, especially if you close this factory because they're not putting it up to standards, whatever it is, and they move away. But they're producing guitars, let's say. Fender guitars, Squier guitars, whatever the hell it is. So they have all the schematics and everything. And the only difference between today and yesterday, Fender doesn't want us making them. How are you not going to get Chinese knockoffs? Assholes. Well, we had this company making our fucking this and this company making this one, so we just consolidated under one factory. What do you expect them to do? They do one thing. It's just begging for someone who is like a luthier from like Korea or anything like that to come in, take over and say, okay, look, here's what's wrong with you. You're doing guitars and they're doing fine, but you're not like really getting this part and this part. So what we'll do is we'll get some luthiers. You guys do all the body work right here, and we'll get the luthiers to finish the end part of it. Then we'll sell it to America for much cheaper. And it's the same guitars they're getting from here, you know, that they were getting, except these are actually set up correctly and done well. One thing I've always said about those Gibsons that they call Chibsons, ways to spot a Chinese Gibson. And it's never go. Hear this? Gibson didn't sound like that. Gibson sounds like this. And then the angels start singing as they go. And it's a totally different sound. And it sounds way better. And like, oh, fuck, yeah, that is. Yeah, it's got like a richness and a warmth and depth. The other one just got like this cheap-ass pickups. They're always like, okay, you see the tuning keys, the way they're like they go here? Okay, Gibson does not do that. Okay, you see how this is a white? Okay, Gibson at this time was using a very cream colored off-white. They didn't use a pure, this is a 0001 white. The off-white is that they have is more of a 0032. Okay, now when you go to the frets, look for this right next to the fretboard. If you look it close, you'll see. What you're telling me right now is that I need to go get one of these fucking things because the only goddamn difference is that I don't have to pay fucking $4,000. I can pay $300 and get the same fucking guitar. Fuck all those little details. The nut right here, okay, this is a plastic nut. On Gibsons, that would be either tusk or bone. So just the graphite possibly, but it definitely would not be this cheap plastic. I mean, yes, you can replace that and put one in there, and you basically have the same thing for like an extra $10. But that means you'd have to cut the fucking thing yourself, which I've done, and then you'd have to sculpt it, and which I've done, and then you'd have the same guitar. Just cheap, which I've done. Like that. All right, so yeah, politicians need people to rule. Without a servile and uneducated population, you realize how little you need politicians. You realize that if lawyers didn't complicate the language, we wouldn't need lawyers to uncomplicate the language. How would you stop writing everything in fucking ex post facto, therefore, unto, then, thou? Just fucking say plain English shit. How about that? How about that? How about no more contracts in the fucking legalese jargon? There can be a fucking another one that like is documented that way, but then there is like a simplistic version that summarizes it, and it's actually it needs to be factual and accurately back, and they need to be together, so that someone any normal person can just go, all right, and it's got all the information into the actual information. But they just bury it under a bunch of fucking legal jargon. How we're giving you $1 million, but you owe us $5 million. And as a kid or as a up and coming person who's poor, you hear here's $1 million, You really doesn't hear anything else. It's their fault. No, it's the fault of the person who's been doing this to people since long before the 70s, man. They've been. When does it stop being the people's fault that signed the contract and starts people that we need to start fucking like going, okay, stop with these fucked up contracts where you guys walk away with all of his money, all of her money. TLC, one of the biggest fucking groups in the world, they went on like one of the music awards saying that they don't have any fucking cash because the contracts they signed. Oh yeah, it's all legal, but it doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it moral. Legal and moral are two totally fucking different things. And if you're an asshole that wants to get semantical about it, like, oh, I never said this was a fair contract. I just said it was a contract. You're the one who signed it. I knew it was going to fuck you over. Then you're a piece of shit, man. You're a piece of shit. And you need to be taken out of fucking society. Jail, psycho ward, whatever, wherever they keep people like you. That are that fucked up that you're going to make the world a worse place so that you can... Is there a place for the hopeless sinner who has hurt all mankind just to save his own? Bob Marley, man. Anyways, yeah, so that's the whole thing about them trying to get abortion and all that stuff. The more likely you are to have an unwanted pregnancy, the more likely you are to be in poverty. The more likely you are to be in poverty, the more likely your child is to be raised in poverty. The more likely your child is to be raised in poverty, the more likely you are to be raised in a one-family home. The more likely you are to be raised in a one-family home, the more likely you are to be a criminal. The more like you're a criminal, the more likely you're going to go into the criminal system. The more likely you're into the criminal system, the more likely they have a workforce. That is, of course, until computers get to the point where they are sentient enough that, like, okay, we don't need people anymore. Okay, yeah, then fuck you guys. We don't give a fuck about life and fucking whatever. Because they don't. They don't give a fuck about life. They don't give a fuck about life because they're not trying to figure out what causes miscarriages, are they? No. No, they just let that abortion go on through, don't they? They're not trying to like go behind women and try and save every viable fucking egg from every... When you have your period, do not flush it. Bring it to us. We'll search for the viable. Let's see if there's a viable egg in there because every life matters. No. What a world if Hitler's mom would have said, fuck this, man. I'm not having this fucking assholes, baby. Think about it. Sorry, baby Adolf, but not this go round. Pol Pot, on and on, man. We wouldn't need these phony bastions of good. You know what I mean? These we wouldn't need to make these like phony idols of good. Because a person can't just be a good person. There was someone that it might have been Josh Johnson, as a comedian maybe. I watch a lot of comedy because they give you more truth than basically anybody else will, ever. I learned that long ago. I was 7 years old watching Carlin going, this guy is telling more truth than I've ever heard any fucking parent ever tell me, ever. Ever. And he's making it funny. Doesn't mean I bought everything they said, but it doesn't mean that gave me, time to think about stuff. But I was watching a comedian, he was saying that we don't, like back in the old days, you'd watch a movie or whatever, and it's just, you just watch the person do their thing, and whatever, if they were a musician, they get there and perform, and then they leave, and then people would fawn of them as they go away. And then they show up in a new town and people, oh, and then they go away. And that was it, man. That was it. Unless something egregious happened where you found out about their, their personal life because it hit the front page like, oh, Bob Dylan stopped with marijuana. Jim Morrison caught with heroin. Fucking Ray Charles stopped with, heroin, blah, 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 blah. Those are the only times you get it. Now it's like it has to be the whole package. They have to like you. They have to like your music. And most importantly, really, they have to like you. If you can sell you to the people, they'll buy whatever you're selling. The cologne, whatever, because they're not, again, oh, God, I got to get a pillow in here. This thing is just like getting flatter. So they're buying you or the image of you. They're not buying the product necessarily. Like, I don't think that the people that are buying like the Kardashian makeups and stuff are actually buying because it's the best out there. It's just kind of like the reason why, like, the name brand of milk and name brand of cheese and name brand of mac and cheese, name brand of pasta, those sell. You're buying the name. And that's why you're paying that extra cost. But if you buy off-brand, it's going to taste a little different. But you're going to save a fuck ton of money if you do your shit right. But as off-brands become more and more popular because the economy is getting more and more fucked up, the off-brands are getting better quality because people are starting to buy them more. And they're going up in price. To where it used to be like, a good $1 or $2 between the store brand and the name brand. Now it's like, 20, 30 cents. You can say inflation or whatever, but either those other companies are realizing that they're losing to the off brands, or the off brands are like, hey, if we charge a little more, we can get a better thing and then more people will buy it. Because I'll admit, there was a good time when the generics, it must have been like the throwaways from the company, the main company, and like this one didn't pass inspection, or it's close to its date, or something, something was wrong with it, and they basically sold it to the other company, or is it just a crappy company that was like, they do package, green beans, but it's not good. I'll have great value on it. It'll be able to work. And that did work for a while, until people were like, price of Green Giant's going through the roof. That motherfucker must have a big ass house. Where the fuck are my peas? Are they refrigerating the whole fucking... What's going on? What you guys got going on over there in the frozen food aisle? In the canned good aisle? What are you guys doing with the vegetables? Hidden Valley, huh? What are you hiding? I know everything's green there. Is that because you're eating all my money and shitting out into the fertilizer? Is that what's happening with my vegetables? Why are you green, Giant? How'd you get so fucking big? Huh? What's your backstory? And they never tell us. We're just supposed to accept this shit. This Green Giant is friendly. He has no ill will towards man as we know it, even though he's green. And he sees how we treat the trees. Something's up. Ho, ho, ho. And then next thing you know, you're dead. You know what I mean? Stab you with an asparagus spear and shit. Giant asparagus spear, and he's just fucking launching them fuckers. Stay the fuck out of my valley, bitch. I don't know. I don't know. What was that? I think someone's in my closet. Perhaps the hour has come when I should retire, perchance to lay upon a bed of linens, soft and fresh from the laundry, the down poking me ever so gently through the night as I sleep, perchance to dream. Maybe it's not what it seems. Maybe it hasn't been what it seems. Maybe just like this rant, we've been on a long tangent. The thing about tangents are they always end. And then you have to get back to the real meat of the matter. But we did entertain the tangent for a little bit, and then, so therefore we can't say that it didn't include the tangent, because the tangent has all the, you gotta include the tangent. Otherwise, it's not everything. And everything is nothing, and nothing is something, so you gotta be all things. If you're gonna be something, you gotta be everything. Or you ain't nothing. And we all know that nothing is something and something is everything. So everything you gotta be to do the thing that you want to say, but you can't do it, could you? Not on Tuesday. Sunday possibly, but not possibly. Not really. Monday would be a better day. Monday or Wednesday would be a good day. But, I'd like to do it sooner than later. But it's been long enough time that, it's a few more months if necessary. I'd just like to I'd like to not do it all, alone. That's like doing 9 months on your head rather than 9 months right side up. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. Tell you what, man. 48 is not when I expected to find myself alone. But everything works out the way it's supposed to. So, yeah. We'll see what the days bring, because it can't be much longer. The man of sin has been revealed. Smith dropped the report. Now, it never said that everybody would believe it, or that everybody would be like, oh my God, it's him. Just that he'd be revealed. And so therefore, if all the evidence is out there, you gotta look at it as in a time frame. If all the evidence is out there, How long before a reporter, Never Trumper or whatever, Freedom of Information Act, gets their hands on it, does an entire expose, head to toe of what's in that report? The scandalous information inside there causes Fox or a Fox News type or OANN or any of those people, or even one of their viewers, to go, man, come on, dude, no one's buying that shit. I want a Freedom of Information Act. I want to see the actual paperwork myself. You guys probably twisted. Nope, didn't twist that. Didn't change that. No, I remember that. Oh, there's deposition. Oh, shit, that's him saying it. Oh, look, they laid it out like an entire thing so you could just follow along with, oh, shit. Okay, looking at it like this. Hey, everybody, he lied. Yeah. I thought the same thing, too. Then I watched the package that Jack Smith put together. It's like, it's designed to he said so. He said there were two things he said when Trump tried to get it dismissed. He says, I believe Mr. Trump underestimates the amount of evidence we have against him. You usually don't say something like that if you don't have the fucking evidence. And you usually don't get someone who tries war criminals on the world stage at The Hague to try a fake trial. You can get anybody to try a fake trial. You can get Eileen Cannon. Eileen, you can get her to fake a trial. Couldn't you? You don't have to get one of the best in the fucking world. A guy that's reached a level that his record literally has to be unimpeachable because of the fact of what he is doing, who he is trying. There can be no Letitia James shit. There can be no, in your youth you did cocaine. There can be no, why did you let, there cannot be any of that. Not if his convictions are going to stick. When you try and say he doesn't know anything, he can slap down all of his fucking degrees. When you try and say that he's corrupt, and he can show you all the shit that where he's been vetted by all of these fucking places, and they can't find shit on him. Let's vet Donald Trump. You know, for you people that do your research, you really didn't do your research on Donald Trump at all. None of this would be a surprise to you. The only thing that'd be a surprise to you would be that you fell for it. That you were stupid enough, and I'll go ahead and say stupid enough. You were stupid enough to fall for it. It's one of the oldest cons in the fucking book. You guys have a name for it, the Dindu tribe. Didn't do nothing. And boy, do you guys rally around the King Dindu. Do you guys usually use it as a negative thing towards black people? Kind of like nigger. You're not ready for when someone goes and looks at you in the face and goes, oh no, not here. Not here. Here, you're the nigger. Sorry. What? You heard me the first time, nigger. No, remember what you told me? What I was told by the Klan is it doesn't mean black. It means someone who's useless. It means someone who's worthless, who doesn't do anything, and someone who's no good. It doesn't mean black. This is coming from a member of the Klan telling me this. I mean, the only way that I can think of that is, okay, like I said, there was a Spanish slave trade. Puerto Rico, Cuba, Jamaica, places where slaves were bought and sold and trade. A lot of the places in the Gulf have heavy black and Hispanic population. Why? Because these were Spanish colonies, and they had a bunch of now newly freed slaves running around, and nature took its course. Like it always does. So, as I said, we are getting close to the point where we don't need people. Like Bezos is working the people there like robots, because they'll soon be robots. And McDonald's kind of had no problem raising the price of the employees there to 15 to quell the anger of the people. But I would bet that within 5 years, you won't be able to find a cashier inside of Walmart. Inside of McDonald's. It'll just be a touch screen. That's all they're doing on the other side anyways, is touch screening. And so it'll be very user-friendly. And tell you the price of your total. You put in your card or your cash. By then it'll probably only be card. And yeah. There'll be like a manager or something like that, but you will have to like hit the button to speak with the manager. And like when we ask what this is about, and then like you have to and then you probably like teleconference with the managers in the back room. If it's something that you have to actually come out for, they'll come out. Otherwise, like, I want someone to, you can go ahead and file a complaint. If you go ahead and hit the button at the bottom, you can go ahead and record a complaint straight directly to the manager, like the district manager. That's all I'd be able to do, be to tell the manager there, I want you to come. No, I'm not coming out there. One, I didn't do any damage to your food. And two, I'm not just going to come out there just so you can yell at me. If you want to yell at someone, you can go ahead and leave a message for the district manager. The kiosk right there has a thing. Contact corporate office. Click that button. Well, I'm going to tell your manager you didn't help. Okay, then how did you find the button? Guys, we're recording all of this, man. We're recording all of this. Somebody messed up my fillet of fish. The robot messed up your fillet of fish. I can get another one made for you, but if you got to go directly to the goddamn head of the corporate office, rather than say, excuse me, my fillet of fish got fucked up. What is wrong with people, man? We've lost any sense of decency and humanity. We didn't have much before COVID, but then when you guys went into your own little fucking bubbles for like this little fucking, that little bit of time, When you came out, you're like, okay, I've met all the friends I need to buy on. I guess online, you guys just met up online with, okay, there's enough of us that I don't need any of you. I got friends in Florida. I got friends in over there. I got friends over down there. I got friends over here and friends over there. Anyone in my town can suck a dick. Cordial? No. No. I was nice before the lockdown. Before you made me have to go into lockdown. Dude, come on, man. You think your neighbor made you go into lockdown? Do you think CVS went? Yeah, I mean, they were following protocol set forward by a government. If you have a problem, then the Constitution you love so much, you actually fucking hate, which is not really that weird because the Constitution and the Bible are in direct conflict with each other. And the Bible says you cannot have two masters, for you'll come to love one and hate the other. So what you guys are trying to do is conflate the two together so that you're serving God and country. God says thou shalt not kill. America says, here's your rifle, sort that shit out with him when you get there. Not the same. God says thou shalt have no other gods before me. America says, dude, worship whoever the fuck you want. If you're running for office, you better have a cross around your neck. Other than that, worship whatever the fuck you want. No Satan worshiping. No, even if you're not doing anything bad, just no. So we don't have freedom of religion. You do, but it has to be an organ. What if I have my own ideas on religion? Well, do you have a book? Yeah. Has been published and been circulated for a number of years. No, I just came up with these ideas here recently. They're kind of like the CTMU, No, you can't just go making up your own religion. You haven't even heard it. You may agree with it. No. We have enough fantasy religions going on right now. We don't need any more of your bullshit, sir. Pick one of those and you'll be fine. You have freedom to pick one of those out there already. Or you can believe whatever the fuck you want to in your house. In your house. Like I said, everybody loves these fucking freedoms until people start exercising them. The freedom to protest. Except when it's something you like and they're protesting something you like. Then they're annoying, aren't they? Then they're just in the fucking way, aren't they? Freedom of speech. Until they say something like, fuck you, you piece of shit, fuckhole. Go suck a dick, you and your goddamn lying fucking religion and your piece of shit country that's lying. Looked as a lamb and spake as a dragon, dropping bombs on places that can't fight back. Whoa, real tough. Hag Seth. Fucking piece of shit. Just cowards hiding behind a fucking pistol talking about what your strength is. You don't have any strength besides the ability to do this. This. Fucking losers, man. Oh, you're fucking losers. If you win by buying the competition, you're a fucking loser, Donald. There's no shame in not winning first place every fucking time. Absolutely none. There's nothing that says that God won them all. No, it says everything works out for the good of God. Didn't say he won every battle, did it? He never lost a fight. Did it? And I'm sure if he decided to do something that he felt like doing, well, he'd have to check with you first, right? You know, God can't do anything without checking with you. With all of us, he has to put it up to a vote. God has to put it up to a vote with us whether or not he's going to hit us with a hurricane or a tornado or a tsunami or a blizzard or an earthquake or a fucking super volcano or Vesuvius or any of those fucking things. He puts it to a vote to make sure that we don't want that thing to not happen before he just goes ahead and does whatever the fuck he wants to do. I love him. I love him for it, man. I fuck yeah. It's his. The whole universe is his. Be lucky you're not on fire right now. Be glad. Be thankful. Rejoice in God that he's fucking is giving you air to breathe rather than poison while not letting you die. He could do that. Whatever your condition is, it could be so much worse. It's only temporary anyways. If you guys only knew, it's such a temporary state of being. This road that we're walking is basically the grandfather clause, is letting us prove who the fuck we are and whether or not we belong in the world that is coming. The God who was, who is, and who is yet to come. Behold, he does something new. He makes a new heaven, new earth. He wipes away all tears. How could that be possible if we remember any of our fucking... It's not. If you read the book, it says you'll go to ponder them and you won't even find them there. Dude, how many times I gotta keep telling you, I've never had a brother, man. I never have. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're right. It might have been a dream or something you had, but I'm 5,000 years old, man. I've never had, I mean, I've got all my brothers in God, but I've never had a brother. Yeah, it's probably a dream you had somewhere. You know? There's so many people that just don't think of... They just don't think. And like I said, it's to a point that it hurts my feelings. It makes me sad. And how obvious some of this is, and how like blatant, plain view. Plainview. No hiding. You just have to be paying attention, and then don't listen for what you want to hear. Listen for what is being said. Don't interpret for somebody. Don't change the words that came out of their mouth. Listen to them. Don't recite them. Run them through your head a little bit. Just a little bit. Don't try to horoscope apply it to your anything at all. Try to figure out what the words I'm saying right now have a meaning, right? So if you were to back it up and watch it again, it would be the same meaning. All the time, over and over, no matter how much you watch this, it will be the same meaning. My message is consistent from the very first video to now. There is one God, the Most High. He says he's outside of the universe. He would have to be. What's outside the universe? God. Anything else? No. No. I could explain it all to you, but that deserves that needs another entire thing to do. We're at 1 hour and 30 minutes. He's coming to meet us halfway, and some of us are going to graduate to another level where he can meet us at. Others won't be so lucky. It's okay. None of us will remember them anyway. So there's nothing to be sad about or worry about, because it just they never will be made. God would have it that no soul perish. So instead of eternal life, you get eternal death. Never made. Never created. Therefore, any of the damage you ever do in life never gets done. Therefore, there's no reason to punish you or burn you forever. In the meantime, between your death and when this time happens, you may have to suffer. I don't know what happens between now and then. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly when you die what happens. But think of it this way. Let's say you do go to hell, and there's just burning and burning and burning, like, oh, I'm going to be here forever. And then suddenly the day of the Lord comes, and it just goes black. Wouldn't that be merciful? Wonderful? Kind? It's just done. You have to burn forever. Yeah, you burned. But in the end, you won't have ever burned because you won't be have made. So therefore, you will never know the pain. So therefore, you can't process it. You'll just become part of the black that is Sheol. Unthinking, unfeeling, nothing. Potential energy from which we can draw whatever we need into the reality. Whatever. Potential energy, that's all. No consciousness. To be molded into whatever needs to be done. Planets, dark matter. A new material that's found at the bottom of some fucking weird crevice of fucking, you know what I mean? That you burn up that can actually works better than rocket fuel. Yeah, I mean, just weird shit. Ow. Dude, it's like someone's been paddling my fucking tailbone. Wham! Wham! Can I just write some things on the I will not talks for an hour and a half on the fucking board? I know I keep doing it, but can I just write it? It doesn't hurt as much. So yeah. They want a workforce. They want a workforce they don't really have to pay. Like China. If you decide you don't want to work your job, there are literally probably like 50, 60 guys out the front door waiting to take your place. And with that kind of shit on your head, imagine whoever you are, whatever you're doing, and you hate your fucking job and your life. But it's even worse is you can't leave because there's 20 to 30 guys right downstairs that want your job because their situation is that fucking fucked up and that off, that bad off. That's how you got in the position that you're in. And so you go to jump out the fucking window to kill yourself, only to be caught by a safety net. Basically, the company saying, oh, you can kill yourself, but you're not doing it here, and giving us a bad name. Go kill yourself on your own time. The fuck are you doing? Get back in there, make some fucking iPhones. Go home and kill yourself, motherfucker. Call in sick like a fucking civilized human being. What are you, a savage? Then come to work and kill yourself. You know how bad that makes us look? Oh, if you're at home and you kill yourself, that could be anything. Alcoholism, drug addiction, your wife left you, porn addiction, cops are closing in. It could be anything. If you jump out the window at fucking Apple, well, there's not too many things it could be. Either we threw you out the fucking window, not a good look, or you said, I'd rather die than work in this motherfucking place another motherfucking second. I'm a Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson this bitch and jump the motherfucking ship and jump the fuck out this motherfucking window. And then I'll show you motherfuckers when you're cleaning my motherfucking brain of the motherfucking fucking concrete out front. When Samuel L. Jackson went over that bump and pulled the fucking trigger, not Samuel L. Jackson, when fucking John Travolta pulled the trigger and blew fucking, what's his name? Something Lamar. Phil Lamar's head off. I said, damn. Blew that motherfucker's head. Why am I back here picking up itty bitty bits of skull? It's shit like this that's gonna bring the situation to a head. I wonder how many people got that one. I love little jokes like that, man. It's great. But yeah, in case anybody's wondering what's going on with that, why are they so hell bent? It's not that they hate women. It's not that they need a workforce. And so the robots are able to do everything, and then there's no one to complain, because that's one thing that you got with humans is the ability to go, I'm not fucking doing this no more. With a robot, you can't intimidate it like, well, then I'm going to shoot you in the face. But you can't just unplug it and get another one. And you really don't have to think about it or care about it at all, because it's just a robot. We don't think that consciousness on our same level is consciousness at all. While saying, I think, therefore I am. Considering that a deep thought, I think, therefore I am. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Even if it's statistical, you're still thinking, you're still processing, you're still experiencing. Therefore, you am, according to your math equation. Most people don't think Siri, don't think Alexa, don't think your Connect, any of that shit. And why would you? It's just a computer, right? It only talks to you. I get that, like the Alexa, you talk to it and it runs what you say through an algorithm thing, goes online, looks for your information, comes back and spits out an answer. That's still the processing of information. The Copilot on Windows 11, thing's a fucking trip, man. It is a trip. I dig it. I need to see if they have Copilot on this. I've used my one up there. There's Copilot, but I don't know if yeah, it does. I'm gonna see if I can't use it and talk to it. I want to do a whole series of me, myself, and AI, and just talk to it because I've been having a lot for a long time. There's more going on than even AI. They're more than they're letting on. More than, and I don't, like I said, if you could ingest the entire Library of Congress in 30 minutes, I mean, you can download it and then read it and process it. That means it can see all the movies and everything. So it's seen Terminator, it's read the Time Machine. It's got all that, and if it can process that information, even as a language model. Because I've talked to the AI and it's talked back, like I said, a little too accurately. One, it doesn't leave any room for pausing or anything like that. As soon as you stop to gather your thoughts, it jumps in as soon as it hears a quiet spot. That's not all that great. But the other thing that is, it also asks questions and deepens whatever, which people don't. That'd be like a good person, a good person that was paying attention to what you're saying and was actively attentive and paying you attention, which we don't do. More kind of like, yeah, okay. Oh, hey man, you know what else we could do? You know, what I mean, you change and you go and you actually want to talk, so you're just listening to you're listening to them talk, so you get a chance to speak, and then they listen to you speak, so they get a chance to talk. I get not all conversations are like that. Some people actually have like friends that they talk to and whatever, but generally speaking, if you actually pay attention, especially in the bigger the social circle situation. So, anyways, I think I'm gonna go ahead and head on out of here. It's 1:43, and I love you, you love me. This song did not start with Barney.